What's up, everybody? It's Luke James, not the singer. If you're looking to get your music reviewed, you can hit up this email that's right here. But today I'm going to hit you up with my thoughts and opinions on this new album from Blu Exile called Miles. Now, Blu Exile are a hip-hop duo who formed in 2007. They dropped a great project called Below the Heavens back then that was critically acclaimed and well received by everyone. And if you're not familiar with these two, just to make things clear, Blu is a rapper and Exile is a producer. They've really put together some great projects in between this new one and also Below the Heavens, but we're not going to jump into those too much because we are going to jump right into this one, which I'm excited to talk about, man. It's a tough act to follow, that Below the Heavens album, since people were so in love with that, but I think this one is really dope. And even at 20 tracks with an hour and a half runtime, it holds together really well, man. I was actually kind of worried how this was going to sound, but it's very consistent. I don't think there's anything on here that's glaringly awful or trash by any means. Really is a dope project, so I'm excited to talk about it. It is not a slog, and Blu has clever wordplay and excellent flows all over it, man. He is such a great rapper, and you're going to hear that right out of the gate on the opening track called Blue. He's working all kinds of clever wordplay here that revolves around colors, and Exile comes through with these very warm strings on this, so it's a nice way to ease into the album. Then with the song When the Gods Meet, we're getting this playful vocal sample on the production, as Blu is getting incredibly nostalgic about his family and also the seasons. You're also getting a great hook on here from Ishe. I hope I'm saying that name right, but she absolutely snaps on there. And I gotta say, man, the vocalists all over this album do such a good job. It is so refreshing to hear an album with actually talented singers, you know, not having a bunch of auto-tune or having a bunch of overproduced vocals or poppy vocals. I love these R&B, neo-soul, soulful vocals all over this project. They're very warm and inviting, lots of excellent harmonies, melodies, and layers. Love the singing on this. I can't stress that enough. You're also going to hear her and Iman Omari on Bright as Stars, just to kind of back up what I'm saying about how good the vocals are. They got gorgeous vocals on this. And Blu is speaking on how he came up and got started into rapping. At first he used to rap about typical bullshit because he was chasing those very basic dreams, you know what I mean? He just wanted to be a hustler, a baller, doing that type of rap. But it wasn't until he got deeper and more personal with his music that he really started to build a buzz and succeed. I thought that was a great message for some of the underground rappers out there. Of course, there's always different roads that you can take, but he's speaking on staying true to yourself, you know? It's very easy to get caught up in the trends, spitting that generic shit, using the same type of production flows and da-da-da-da-da, but he's telling you, if you stay true to yourself, if you write that pain, like DMX said recently in that DMX versus Snoop battle, write that pain, you go deep, you're going to leave a mark. So I thought that was pretty cool, man. There's lots of great content on here and lots of great features, as I mentioned. So I want to go over some of those right quick. You have Gappy Ranks bringing dancehall flavor to Troubled Water. That one has a bit of bounce to it, so I thought that was a cool track. C.S. Armstrong smashes the vocals on Miles Away. This is another smooth joint, and I just really like the way that his voice sounds. Once again, he's one of those singers who's really hitting you with that emotional singing. You know what I mean? You can really feel it. You're even going to get Miguel and the Last Artful Dodger on American Dream. I love the way that they play off of each other on the hook on this song. They both have very different vocal stylings, but it works really well. And this is just basically a track where Blu is sort of expanding on the American dream, or what he sees as a dream, where people get along, money isn't an issue, the politics are better, all those types of things. He really does go into quite a bit of detail and get vivid on this song, and also on other songs, man. That's the thing. You might say, you know, he's just spitting some typical come-up bars and rapping about his dreams and goals and struggles throughout this project. I mean, lots of rappers do that, but this is an example of someone who's really getting vivid, expanding on these ideas, coming through with great songwriting, and keeping it interesting rather than just giving you very surface level basic stuff. That is what separates a great MC from just another average MC, in my opinion. So he really left an impression on me with some of these songs. Especially Music Is My Everything. This track has a groovy neo-soul feel to it. Once again, excellent vocals, this time from Jametta Rose, and Blu and Choosy are just rapping about how they fell in love with music. Thought this was a really cool track that got nostalgic, vivid once again, and it's something that some of us can all think about. Back to some of the first music we fell in love with, those moments where maybe we heard our parents play a certain song and it connected with us, all those sorts of things. For example, you got Blu reflecting on how he used to dress like MJ as a kid. He wrote some raps where he was dissing Crisscross back in the day, even though he was dressing like them and kind of acting like them. A lot of us were doing that. I used to have my clothes on backwards and the little braids as well, so I get what he's saying. Wasn't dissing them though. And you got Choosy on here speaking how music first flowed into his veins through his mom listening to music and dancing and some of the experiences he had in church. Really a cool idea for a track. Have a lot of appreciation for that. And you're going to get more nostalgia and personal information all over this project. Requiem of Blu has a fun hook from Fashawn to go along with the whimsical production, as Blu is just recounting his life through the years. He starts off in the 80s, then goes through the 90s and into the 2000s, getting very detailed on here. I appreciate this song. And on The Feeling, he does speak on overcoming adversity and how he once felt lost, but eventually he found his way. There is a bit of religious content here as he's speaking on God helping him out and holding him down. But the part that hit me is how he was speaking on his worries and insecurities and fears as a black man raising a black child with all the stuff going on in the world right now. So as a black father myself, raising black kids, I certainly related to what he was saying there. That was a dope moment where he really connected with me as a listener. And you are going to get some other topics that do revolve around the black experience. Roots of Blu and African Dream. These tracks both explore black excellence as well as African roots and how our history is tied to us even still. Really dope moments on here, including Gappy Ranks and Aloe Black throwing in vocals on African Dream. Although I gotta say, that production is gonna have to grow on me a little bit. It's not awful, it's just kind of different and weird, has a tribal feel to it. I don't know, I would put that as my least favorite track because of the beat, but I still like the content. I like the vocals that are added on there. Not a bad track, but something's gotta be my least favorite, so that's what it would be. We also get the song To the Fall But Not Forgotten. This is a track where Blu is showing love to various deceased people, whether it's celebrities, singers, rappers, actors, police brutality victims, and more. Just a dedication type of track. And then on You Ain't Never Been Blue, Blu is breaking down what it really means to be blue. People are out here complaining about all kinds of simple and mundane shit, but Blu is breaking it down, how there's a lot of really awful things you could go through in order to really be blue. Whether, you're having cops pulling guns on you, whether you're waking up next to roaches because you're living in poverty, getting beat up all the time. And he also touches on how, despite his skill level, he has never gone gold or platinum, which is a plight of many underground rappers and people who are very talented. So again, some good content here. He really is putting his heart out onto the page. He's not afraid to do that, man. That is something I talk about a lot in my reviews, and that's something that I look for in my music. I do like fun, dumbed down, simple, catchy stuff as well. You will see projects like that featured in my year-end list, but I really do connect with these projects where the MC is telling their story and going deep, because only they can tell their story. That's something I say all the time, especially if you're a rapper. Tell your story, write that pain, like I said earlier, like DMX said actually. Just go hard with it, you know what I mean? You don't always gotta follow trends and shit. You can make your dreams just by being real with yourself. And on the topic of Blu's skill level, since I did mention that, I gotta say that he's rapping great all over this project. I think I did mention that a couple of times. But for a couple more examples, Miles Davis has him dropping gems all over a jazzy boom bap beat. I especially like that line where he says, "Blue smooth like blue suede shoes. I told my homie improve, I'm Tim Allen with the tools." Shout out to that. That's a home improvement reference. You came up in the 90s, you know all about that. And Blue as I Can Be, god damn it, man, this is a straight up clinic. He is absolutely snapping on here, all kinds of clever lines. I love his flows and rhyme schemes. And one of the things that I like about his flows and rhyme schemes on this song and throughout the project is sometimes he leads you astray. Like, he'll be rapping a certain way and you think he's gonna rhyme this with this, but then he switches it up, man. He goes in a different direction, but it still sounds dope. He just knows how to mix it up. He is not slouching on any of these verses, man. That song is a one-man bar fest. He went all the way in on that one, so that's one of my favorites for sure. But you know what? There's a lot to rave about here. It's 20 tracks. It's an hour and a half. I'm not going to touch on every single song because you know what? I want you to listen to it and discover some of these tracks for yourself while also checking out some of these hot ones that I've spoken on so far, because I think you guys are going to like a lot of it. But I'm going to go with a 9 out of 10 here, man. I think this is a really dope project. I'm sure a little bit of trimming maybe would have made it a bit more cohesive. There might be a couple songs here and there that I wouldn't miss too much. But all in all, man, there wasn't anything on here that I absolutely hated. I think most of these tracks are really dope. I was worried at the runtime and the number of tracks when it came to this project, but even still, man, it was cohesive. It was a dope project. And actually, one more song I wanted to speak on before I forget is All the Blues. This is a track where Blu is breaking down Miles Davis's life story. He's getting biographical on this one and going into a lot of detail, so that was dope. Then in the second verse, he details his family tree and kind of ties it in to what was going on with Miles Davis, because they did have some beginnings in Illinois. At least that's the connection that I saw. So yeah, man, this is a dope project. Again, I can't speak on everything because it's such a vast project. It's very long. There's a lot of stuff to break down with the lyrics and content, but I think I gave you enough so you know it's fire and it is worth your time. So hopefully you check it out. If you do, hit me up in the comments section to let me know your thoughts. I always want to know what you think. And make sure you do that good YouTube and social media stuff where you show me love and you show me lots of it. Thank you for watching, everybody. I will see you next time.